The President's FY24 budget requests $63.1 billion for state and USAID. This is a $4.9 billion increase, roughly 9% increase above what Congress enacted for comparable state and AID programs in fiscal year 23. The budget is an extension of principled, clear-eyed leadership by the United States in the face of a set of generational challenges that require sustained commitments to address. Our competition with the PRC is unusually broad and complex, which requires a different approach than traditional budgeting. And to meet this challenge, therefore, this budget requests mandatory spending on top of the traditional discretionary resources within the budget.
This proposal includes $2 billion to support high-quality, strategic, hard infrastructure projects globally, and that's part of the portion of the budget where it speaks about outcompeting China. But obviously, when you look at what China has done with its Belt and Road Initiative over the last year, reports are that it invested more than $19 billion in direct investments in countries for the Belt and Road Initiative. More than 19 billion and 2 billion are just numbers that are completely at odds with one another. So how do you outcompete China, particularly in this space of infrastructure investment, when the U.S. government just isn't putting it down the funds that appear to be competitive?
I think it's important to differentiate between quantity and quality. We are not looking to match China dollar for dollar, in part because any number of Chinese investments, or quote unquote investments, don't make a lot of commercial sense. And so if we're trying to do this in a thoughtful way that reflects economic norms and good business practice, we need to be supporting a proper evaluation of some of this on the merits. By the same token, what we are finding as we are looking to support infrastructure development in many different countries and markets and sectors is that in an enormous number of places, partners, whether they're governments, whether they're companies, prefer to work with the United States or with our Western allies and friends.
Where John started, I think, is a critical point, because we are never going to match the PRC dollar for dollar in state capital, in a state-run economy like the PRC's. But where we can compete, and in fact outcompete, is by harnessing the power of the American private sector, of private sectors in our closest allies and partners. That is precisely the objective of the Partnership for Global Infrastructure and Investment, the initiative that President Biden launched with his G7 partners in 2021. You talked about $19 billion that the PRC has put forward. This is an initiative that is going to bring together hundreds of billions of dollars over the next 5 or so years. So it is a whole of society effort